Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am up today with another layout featuring my new nephew, or not so new now because he's 3 months old, but in this photo he was 2 days old. So this is Tom, and I already knew in my head exactly what I wanted to do for this layout. And so I guess I'd done planning, although I hadn't really planned much, but I have a whole heap of fussy cut butterflies on the right hand side of the screen there. And I wanted to do a little kind of corner flip up. Again, if you've been watching my last few videos, I'm trying to use up some old kits that I've got kind of that I created, homemade kits that are lying around. Yeah, and so I'm just sort of trying to use up all the things that I have. So this is a bit of a weird layout because it's a bit of a hodgepodge mix of things. So I went with something a bit different for me and went with a full sheet of pattern paper as my background. I don't actually know where this paper is from. It is from a paper pad, and I want to say it's Amy Tan, but I could be wrong. I don't rightly remember, but it is from a paper pad. I know that. It's thinner than normal cardstock, but still thick. That doesn't make any sense, but it's, you know how paper pad paper is not as thick as individual sheets of 12 by 12 paper, so it's single-sided, it's not double-sided. But yeah, so, and I've also got the 6 by 6 paper pad of the documentary, Dear Lizzie documentary collection. So again, an old collection or an older collection, trying to use up things in my stash this year. So I've got the butterflies there that I cut out. That was definitely a Dear Lizzie paper. I don't know if I've still got any of it to tell you what it is. Oh, look, I do. So it is Dear Lizzie, Stay Colourful. I don't know what the paper is called. Farrow Forever, maybe? But it is the Dear Lizzie Stay Colourful line. And I fussy cut a whole heap of butterflies. I didn't have a heap of the paper left, but I fussy cut all of the butterflies that I had left. And I am just sort of layering up. So I did take a little bit of inspiration from Jen Scow, has a Facebook group called Crafty Use It or Lose It, I think. And she's got a challenge going on at the time that I'm making this layout, which is early January, the 12th of Jan. She's got a challenge around using your stuff, and one of her challenges was to use the majority or mainly paper on layouts. So I didn't quite meet that challenge because I used a couple of other things that aren't paper, but I did a pretty good job. So I fussy cut the butterflies. I'm using a lot of layers. I'm using tissue paper, which I count as paper. And yeah, just kind of trying to use up some things and create some interesting layouts with only really using the bulk of paper. So I really liked this vellum, and this is where I say it's a bit of a hodgepodge because you'll find out this vellum has gold accents on it, gold crosses. I do know where it's from because I actually have the packaging for it right here. It is the Poolside, crepe paper Poolside, gold glitter on vellum. So again, an older-ish collection, not super old, but older. And I hadn't used it, it was still in the package. So wanted to use some of that. And in my layers that I'm creating now, I'm sort of tearing some of the paper and just trying to create a few different textures. I can't tear paper very well, so you can see me waste a bit there. I go and get my ruler to use that to help as a guide. I didn't do any editing of this layout. So it's just over 10 minutes long, and the layout took me just over 20 minutes. I've only sped it up twice, or double. It's only double speed. So I thought I'd leave the whole thing in so you can see the process from start to finish. Again, I had an idea of what I wanted. I didn't mess around. I didn't have a lot of time to film this. I'm trying to get my 2018 album finished before the baby comes. And he's due early Feb, so I am trying to get kind of 2018 done and dusted and wrapped up. And I've got about 10 12 by 12 layouts left and 4 Project Life spreads left that are the Christmas spread, so I want to use my Christmas stash for that. Yeah, so I've laid out my photos. I'm happy with all the layers that I've created. I wanted to use that yellow paper that yellow stripe paper as the sort of last element, and I wanted a fair bit of the yellow to kind of come through because there's a lot of yellow in the butterfly, so I wanted to make sure that was picked up somewhere else on the layout. So you can see I've literally shoved those butterflies down, not even in any particular order, in a sort of half circle shape or a moon shape. And I knew that's what I wanted. And then I figured, oh, I better stick the photo down because I probably need to stick some of the butterflies on top of the photo. I thought about popping the photo up on foam, but I decided not to. And then I thought about popping some of the butterflies up on foam, but I also decided not to. I'm only putting a tiny dab of glue sort of in the middle of the butterfly on the, is it called the stamen? Anyway, on the middle part of the butterfly. That is where I am putting the glue. So sort of leaving, I guess, the wings free, but that also creates a little bit of dimension because the butterflies are not stuck flat. And again, I could have edited this part out, but I thought you should see just how quick this was to put together. I think sometimes I can make things too complicated for myself, and sometimes when I just let myself scrap and I don't think about it really, it's good. And I like what I end up creating, and I'm happy with the end product, but also it's quick, it's relaxing, I get a lot of enjoyment out of it, but I also feel really accomplished, and it means I can create a layout. Right now what time is it? It's 6:30 when I'm doing this voiceover. I haven't started dinner yet. But you know, I know what I'm cooking for dinner, so that's a good start. So I will, finish this up, wrap everything up, clean up my desk, and then go and cook dinner, and we'll still eat at a reasonable hour, and I got to make a scrapbook layout. So I'm all for that. So, oh, that's right. I wanted to add a couple of little elements to the little corner that I'd kind of created and turned up. And so I'm sort of working that out. And this is where I know exactly what I'm doing. I know I've got gold on the page already, but I really wanted to use the thicker word that says Cherish, and that happens to be silver, so we're just going with it. This layout has a mix of gold and silver, and I'm totally fine with that. I do break the thicker word, which, I'm rushing, so that was a bit frustrating, but the good thing is you can't even really tell that I broke it. It goes back together perfectly. So yeah. I'm okay with mixing gold and silver, I guess, is what I'm saying. It was deliberate. I knew I had gold on the layout, and I've put silver on there anyway, and I'm totally fine with that. So I'm adding a couple of butterflies down to the corner that I turned up, using the staple because there was a bit too much dimension there, and I knew that the butterfly wouldn't stick. And then there were a few butterflies in the Dear Lizzie, what is it? What's the collection? Stay Colourful collection, puffy stickers. So I added those, and then I added my word Cherish, and I thought to add a little bit more silver to the layout, I would add a few of the hearts in the thicker word pack. So I just added 3 of the hearts, and then I'm going through my Tim Holtz tiny word stickers, and I am going to add some to the layout. Now I have like 3 books of these. You can see this one is nearly finished. I'm really trying to use it up, but unfortunately there weren't a heap of words or phrases that were super relevant to this layout. I did pick a few, so I picked one that said, remember to play, don't forget to fly, I love us, be your beautiful self, a dream is a wish your heart makes, adventure is worthwhile, great things take time, fall in love with as many things as possible, and hold on tight to your dreams. So I thought they would all work. So I'm adding those now, but it does take me a while to kind of look through and figure out which ones I want to include. Again, I could have opened a new one and got a few other more appropriate ones out, but I'm happy with these ones and they work. And again, I'm trying to use up my stuff. Yeah, so that's all I'm doing here, just sticking those down. Again, could have edited this out, but it didn't take that long to stick 3 lots of 3 tiny word stickers onto the page. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I'm done. So now I am going to add some of the Heidi Swapp Colour Shine in gold. This was already on my desk from the layout I just filmed previous, which you will have seen probably a week ago. And that was a layout of the photos, the first family photos of Jess and her husband and their 2 boys. So I used that, and then I went, oh, I've got a silver one too that I haven't really used. And this is an acrylic paint based mist. And so it actually smells quite strongly of acrylic paint, funnily enough, given that it is acrylic paint. But I used it for the first time. It doesn't show up super well on the wood grain paper, but I'm happy with it, and I am looking forward to keeping on using that on my layouts. I think I quite like adding elements of silver, so yeah, I'm looking forward to using that, and that's the end. I think we're done. So, oh, that's right, I'm just tidying up the spots. If I don't clean up the acrylic paint ones straight away, they mark my desk. So we are all done. I'm going to show you the close-ups, and that's the layout complete. I hope you liked it, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.